What's going on, guys? We're back again with another video. Oh yeah, it's nighttime. Okay, what's going on out here? So I just had some tea that my stepson had made me. I always like me some sweet tea. It wasn't just for me, by the way. He made a gallon of sweet tea, so of course I helped myself some because tea is quite delicious. Definitely like it. Yeah, Minecraft. There's just something about this game, man. I always keep finding myself coming back to it. It's just a simply beautiful game. What I wanted to talk about in this particular video, first I wanted to thank you guys for the support on the last few videos. I didn't expect this channel to already, kind of start to get some traction. So thank you for checking it out. And I hope that you kind of stick around for the fun topics. It's just a very lighthearted channel. But what I wanted to talk about today was back to the basics, keeping things simple, just kind of going with the flow of life. I mean, look at this. Look at this, right? It's so beautiful. I know it's a game, but you can also relate it into real life. Getting out in nature. Oh no, not that kind of nature though, where the skeletons chase you, but getting out in nature, it's important to ground yourself, man. I know that some of you, depending on where you live, of course, if you're in like a big city, such as like New York and California, it's probably a little harder. But I guarantee you that there's definitely parts of the city where you can go and find some nature and kind of ground yourself and, just kind of essentially explore that more, right? Humans were meant to live simple, fulfilled lives, I believe, where it's not a lot to it. You have your family, and your friends. You have your tribe, air quotes, right? That's how a lot of civilizations used to live. They had their tribes, they had their friends, family that they were very close to, and they kept them really close to their hearts. And I think that what a lot of people have been doing lately has been secluding themselves, away from friends and family. Now, again, it's a little different. I understand not everybody's situation's the same or that simple, so to speak. I completely respect that. If you've got difficult situations, that is completely understandable. This is copper, right? Yeah, it's raw copper. So I understand that not everybody's situation is very simple. So, if you can't really, associate family too much, completely get it. Friends are, well, good friends rather, can sometimes be hard to come by depending on, where you are and how you associate yourself. But I think that it is important to try your best to explore that more because humans are meant to socialize. And as far as keeping things simple, there's nothing wrong with not getting along with everybody. There's kind of the beauty in life, right, where you're not going to get along with everybody, and that's awesome because that means that everybody has their own different things. You don't have to take anything that personally. It's usually never that deep. This is not that big of a cave. I was hoping for more. Let's see if there's anything up here. I know it's just up here. I want to see if I missed anything on the ceiling. A little bit of iron. Not pillar up to him. But I do think that, if you just don't take stuff so personally, it definitely helps you kind of have a simpler life where you're not so high strung all the time. I'm going to block this back off because I don't want them spawning and getting up here, but I'm going to try to find a different cave. It is nighttime, so you got to be a little careful. But the last video resonated with a lot of you guys. And I'm really glad because I'm just some guy who's talking about stuff that I think we can relate to, right? Where there's just stuff always on our minds. And I truly think that, taking stuff a little slower, it doesn't hurt. I think going slow sometimes is how you go fast and you get further in life. But just kind of assessing the situation where you're at. Like, take this for example, right? Assess where you're at in Minecraft. There's a creeper down there. But he's gonna make his way to me, I'm pretty sure. But if you're kind of stuck in your house and you feel like there's not really much out there, just kind of explore a little bit. And what I mean by that is just kind of get out there a little bit more. Try to find something that you can relate to. As far as, so like if you have hobbies, obviously everybody should have some hobbies. Stuff that you can relate to. And see if you can find like-minded people in that area. This is a really weird little mini ravine, if you will. It's kind of funny. Actually, I need to... I keep hearing the chickens running around, but I don't know where else I'm going, honestly, right now. Still need to change my character. We'll get to that at some point, but no, I mean, if you, okay, like for example, right? My buddy and I has been recently going to the gym a lot, and there are definitely people there that you can relate to because you're already doing a similar hobby. So, like, obviously, you're both at the gym, so you both have something in common. You might have similar goals, you know. Obviously, just because you're at the gym doesn't mean you have the same goals, even. However, some people are going for like strength training or, you know, doing your cardio. So, like, for example, my friend, he's trying to lose weight and put on some muscle, and I'm actually just trying to put on some weight and put on some muscle as well. And I think that even though, yes, our goals are pretty much the opposite directions of one another, we have a like-minded goal in mind. And it's just essentially the biggest one is, in the simplest form, is to just better ourselves. You know, you got to be that 1% better every day, right? It is, you know, it's one of those things that it is going against what you mentally, like, no one wants to get up in the morning just to go work out. But then when you actually start doing that and you create some kind of routine for yourself, it makes you feel a lot better. You're more inclined to approach the day, at least in my opinion, in my experience. I'm not a morning person whatsoever. I'm a night owl, and my wife is the same. And I've found that now that I've been going to the gym for about a month and a half, give or take, it's been a lot easier getting up in those mornings because you know that you have a goal and you haven't hit it yet. And I think that part of taking it slow too, you have to enjoy the process. You can't focus on just the end result. That's pretty neat looking too. Because if you focus on just the end result, how are you going to actually be happy? Because I think what a lot of people do is they put the end result, whatever it is. It could be, hey, I need to hit six figures by 26 or 2026, not 2016. That was a little bit ago. But yeah, I want to hit six figures by 2026. Okay, well, if you put this on such a high pedestal, right? You think that this thing is gonna magically solve all your problems, and it may make you feel good in the moment once you hit your goals, something that extravagant, but it may not meet your expectations, and that's one of the worst feelings in the world. So, oh, look at that. That's one of the new bombs they added, I think, within the one of the most recent updates. So, the cherry blossom bomb. But I think that that's a big problem that a lot of people do is they put these goals on such a high pedestal that once they do achieve them, you get that kind of, dang, was that really it? And that's an awful feeling, I promise you. I've had a lot of situations like that where I thought, oh, okay, well, once I get this job that is, you know, related to my college degree, I'll be set for, you know, at least like the next 10, 15, maybe even 20 years. Wrong. I did that for less than 2 years, you know, and some people get lucky and they find their dream job, you know, when they come out of college or even high school and they jump right into something that just fits their lifestyle. And that's awesome. For one, that's a huge blessing, man. Props to you for doing that. I'm gonna click some resources here. I've decided I think I'm going to attempt to build a house. Maybe this episode we'll see how that works, but even just a simple little wood house. But I think that honestly, yes. I mean, have a bunch of goals, but don't be in such a rush to just complete them right away. have a sense of urgency, sure. That's completely understandable to have. But I think that taking your time and enjoying the actual process is much more enjoyable than just getting to the end result. Because again, life is it's short and long, if that makes sense. I think that life is it's long if you're not having a good time. Like if you're having a pretty miserable time, life is long. But if you're having a really fulfilled life, it may be shorter feeling in the moment, right? But you can look back and be very proud of all your accolades that you accomplished. And I think that a lot of us take, and again, myself included, we take life too seriously sometimes. And and it's just not worth it in the end. Man, the bees are huge in this game. Gosh, I haven't seen them in forever. That's funny. But oh crap! I thought that. Oh no, I thought that was a different mob. I'm sorry. He's gonna chase me across the whole map now. But seriously, just learn back to the basics and keeping things simple. So I don't think things have to be so complicated as we make them to be. And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong is that we try to min max life. And it's not a, like, life is, yes, like a video game in a sense. We try to min max our video games, but I promise you that doing that all the time is very exhausting. And you don't always have to be doing something productive. I think that somewhere along the lines, we got that very misconstrued on how we should approach life. And I think that many people, and I've been guilty of this again, but we get this mindset where we have to min max life. We have to always be doing something productive. And no, you do not have to be doing something productive every day of your life. There's going to be some days where you don't feel like doing anything. And sometimes those are the days where you lean into doing something, sure. But there's other days where you should really just take it easy. Shouldn't really worry too much about the end result, within reason, of course. But I do think that we do get it wrong a lot of the times where we overanalyze everything and we pick it apart and we pick ourselves apart and we just always are wondering if we're doing the right thing. I will say that if you're always worried about doing the right thing, you are heading in a good direction in the sense of you're actually caring and you're adamantly considerate of the outcome. You want to live a good life. But I think we put so much pressure on ourselves that everybody wants to be successful and however they view that. And I think that, whether it's their parents putting pressure on them or their friends or their peers or whatever, comparison's the thief of joy, man. I used to be a car salesman and I used to do it all the time. I used to compare myself to the other salesmen that were extremely good in their field. And I learned later on that I had a lot of difficulties selling cars. That Enderman just teleported near me. That's a little scary. And is he mad at me now? I think he's fine. We'll find out soon. But I think that's kind of the thing, right? Is that I struggle with that because I consciously knew I'm not a financial advisor, but I know when people make bad financial decisions. Sure, I didn't make them sign the paper to, get their vehicle and stuff, but it's the fact that I'm still participating in not giving them proper, what would seem like advice, because a lot of people do make bad decisions, and it kind of goes to show that your emotions override a lot of your thought process. So you gotta try to stop being so emotional in the sense of letting it dictate everything you do. So I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about a lot lately. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm really just kind of curious. Get some conversation going, and seriously, just take it easy. It's really not that deep. Take it a little bit slower. Enjoy your days. There's a lot of them. Just take it day by day and enjoy the process, guys. You, of course, have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.